This movie is now the scariest movie I have ever seen. Hello everyone, it's Lauren here. How's it going? Hope you are enjoying Halloween month. I have some movies that I would like to share with you. These are movies that I either watch every year around this time, have seen and really liked, or I think you should see. What you're not going to find on this list are movies like Halloween, Scream, Friday the 13th, Saw. I'm going to start with some funny ones. If you recognize this quote, then you probably know what movie this is. Of course, Beetlejuice. Just classic.
What are your qualifications?
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that.
Classic. So another funny one is Clue. Tim Curry carries this movie. I can't imagine anyone else in that role. He nailed it.
Am I right in thinking there is nobody else in this house?
No.
Then there is someone else in this house.
No, sorry. I said no, meaning yes.
No meaning yes?
So I have a few on this list that I hope that are new to you. The next one might be one of those. The Burbs is, in my opinion, a very underrated film. It stars Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, Carrie Fisher. I mean, it's definitely cheesy. It's not like Tom Hanks, I mean, he's not going to win Best Actor or anything for this movie, but it's just a fun movie. It's not necessarily Halloween. It's not necessarily scary. The Petersons have new neighbors, and they're very secretive, very mysterious, and they sort of start spying on these neighbors and trying to figure out what they're all about. And chaos ensues.
Go up and talk to him. We could see what he's like, Go.
You could go say hi to him, too,
Yeah, but he's your neighbor.
Well, no, he's your neighbor as well.
It has Corey Feldman, too, so... Another movie you probably have not seen is The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. This is another very, very silly, not scary at all, but if you're into haunted house movies, this might be a good choice for you. This stars Don Knotts, who you might know from The Andy Griffith Show, Luther Heggs, who works at a newspaper. He ends up spending the night in a haunted house. What happens next, you'll have to watch.
It was terrible. It was just terrible.
Oh, no, he's gonna cry.
Now, steady now, Luther. Tell us about it. It was terrible. It was just terrible. I'll never get over it as long as I live.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love this film. So sticking with light and fun, we have to go with The Great Pumpkin. Linus is my favorite Peanuts character. I have an entire collection of Linus stuff. So, of course, The Great Pumpkin, I absolutely adore. A must-watch at Halloween for me. It's just mandatory viewing. Linus, isn't he the cutest thing?
I'm glad you came back, Sally.
The whole Sally Linus thing is just the cutest thing to me. And so I love the two of them together in the pumpkin patch. When they go trick-or-treating and all Charlie Brown gets are rocks, classic. There's one you can watch with your children if you happen to have any of those. Two older movies. They both star Vincent Price. They are both required Halloween viewing for me. I'll start with House of Wax. Now, I know they did a remake of House of Wax with the incomparable Paris Hilton, greatest actress of our generation. I think this movie is one that holds up pretty well. It's just a very enjoyable watch. It's definitely creepy. Vincent Price has a wax museum. His business partner decides to set fire to the wax museum for insurance money. And so Vincent Price then has to create a new wax museum, and that's sort of what gets the story going. It's really well done. It's definitely creepy, even though it's old. It has its moments. But the one that I like more than that is House on Haunted Hill. This movie is another just mandatory. I have to watch this every Halloween. This movie is just so fantastic. I know this one also has a remake that I've never seen. You have this group of people that will be paid money if they stay overnight in this haunted house.
The caretakers will leave at midnight, locking us in here until they come back in the morning. Once the door is locked, there's no way out. The windows have bars that a jail would be proud of. And the only door to the outside locks like a vault. There's no electricity, no phone, no one within miles, so no way to call for help.
Like your coffin.
Vincent Price is just like Mr. Halloween. Another movie that I think is also sort of under the radar is The Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere and Laura Linney. I don't know if this movie really killed it at the box office, but it definitely has a creepy vibe. I think overall it's a pretty good movie. It's not like Screaming Halloween or anything. It just sort of has that creepiness, so if that's what you're into. This is based on true events, like loosely based on true events of this thing called Mothman. It takes place in West Virginia, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where Mothman was said to be seen. I don't really want to say too much about it. If you're interested, you can look into this more. It's just creepy. If you're into creepy, I think that's a good movie. Another one that I think is kind of under the radar would be The Others. The whole atmosphere of it is very, like, gloomy, depressing. It's just a really cool movie. Nicole Kidman, she has 2 kids. They're in this gigantic house.
They're everywhere. They say this house is theirs.
It's just really good. I definitely recommend The Others if you haven't seen that one. Sleepy Hollow, of course, with Johnny Depp.
The attacker rode Masbeth down. Turned his horse. Came back. Came back to clean the head.
I'm not going to say anything about it. It's Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. Done. Next one. Same thing with this one, The Shining. The Shining is just a classic. If you've never seen The Shining, you should give it a watch. Classic. So the next 3 movies are ones that I actually saw either on Netflix or some other streaming platform. So the first one is Hush. Now, Hush is done by Mike Flanagan, which you might know from the more popular The Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass. It's a home invasion movie, so if that's your thing, you should definitely check this one out. I think it's very well done. It stars his wife, actually. She plays a deaf woman who is being absolutely hunted down by this psycho with a crossbow.
I can come in anytime I want. And I can get you anytime I want. But I'm not going to. Not until it's time.
I was definitely on edge the entire movie. And for the majority of the movie, it is just the 2 of them in this cat and mouse game. But it never really gets old or predictable. To me, I just absolutely love this one. Definitely recommend. The next one is a movie called Triangle. Triangle has about 87 loopholes, but I still think it's pretty cool. If you're into sort of like mind trip kind of movies, this one might be for you. So because of that, I don't want to give too much away. You can read a synopsis if you want to. Just don't read too much about it because, you know, spoilers are everywhere. I definitely think it's worth a watch. The next one, if you were into slow burn, and I mean slow burn with a great payoff, The Invitation. With great value, Tom Hardy. Now, I don't mean The Invitation with vampires or whatever, like a prom or something. It's just so, I mean, again, like the whole atmosphere, that whole tense thing, like you're trying to figure out what is going on, who's hiding what, is this just a dinner party or something else happening?
Something doesn't feel safe here. We don't see you for 2 years, and then all of a sudden, we get invited to this lavish dinner. Don't tell me that this is normal.
It's very tense, and I think the lead does an excellent job of sort of being your eyes into this dinner party and sort of trying to figure out what's going on. It does take a while. I mean, it is a slow burn. I think the payoff is well worth the wait, and it's just excellent all around. I highly recommend this movie. It's kind of like a hidden gem, I think. I've saved the scary ones till the end. If you're looking for something scary, what I consider scary, up until probably a year ago, The Conjuring was the scariest movie I had ever seen. I remember after I watched it, I came back to my house and I had to turn on every single light in my house, including the basement. But I'm talking pantries, closets. It was just like, I was just scared to death. For whatever reason, you have not seen The Conjuring yet and you want a good scare, I recommend this one.
Wanna play hide and clap?
Legitimately scary, for sure. Next movie, I've only seen this movie one time. I don't know if I can watch it a second time. The movie Hereditary. This is something. This movie stays with you a long time. I mean, I saw it probably when it came out, around when it came out, whenever that was, and I still think about this movie sometimes. It has that kind of staying power. It's disturbing. It is unsettling. It is disturbing. Toni Collette, I don't know if you can see Mocha having a bath down here. Just Toni Collette. She is unbelievable in this film.
And I can't forgive. Because nobody admits anything they've done!
She just kills it. She kills every aspect of this movie. She is amazing. I'm telling you right now, it's disturbing. You will be disturbed. Next one is the latest scary movie that I've seen, and that is Talk to Me. This movie is really, really good. And it gets better the more I watch reviews on it. I watched a podcast on it, the Dead Meat podcast. I watched that. And the more that I hear about it, the more I like it, I think.
I let you in.
It creeped me out. It was definitely scary. It wasn't one that I had to turn on the lights on afterwards, though. I recommend, especially if you're looking for something brand new. All right, I have two more. Both of these films are Korean films. Both of these films should be watched in Korean with subtitles, so if that's not your thing, you can just end the video right now. So you probably already know one of the two, and that is Train to Busan. I watched Train to Busan because I saw it on like every single best of the year list. Like it was just everywhere. When I would search for like what to watch on Netflix, that's where I first saw it. And it just kept coming up. And I was like, I'm not really into zombies. At the time, I had never seen a zombie movie. I thought, okay, I'll give this a try. And oh my, I absolutely love this film. It is so much more than a zombie film. There's a father-daughter on a train to Busan. There is a zombie outbreak and one of the zombies gets on the train. So you have that whole claustrophobic feel. It's just a 10 out of 10 on every front. If you are going to watch one movie from this list, that is the one that I would recommend because of how freaking fantastic it is. If you haven't seen Train to Busan, you need to see Train to Busan. Definitely bloody. They are zombies. But it is just so amazing. And I think this is another one that will stick with you. The end of this film, I don't have words for it. I just became a shell of my former self. That's all. That's all I can say. It is just like punch to the gut and the face. It's just so good. It's so good.
You all right?
It's an emotional roller coaster from start to finish. I absolutely adore this movie. So this is, again, another Korean horror movie, The Haunted Asylum. I'm not sure even how to say it. Gonjiam? If you're not into found footage movies, you're not going to like this because it's a found footage movie. These group of people who are live streaming their trip to this haunted asylum, that's when it all goes wrong. But this, the reason I said about for The Conjuring that it used to be the scariest movie I'd ever seen, this movie is now the scariest movie I have ever seen. I watched this on a laptop in the dark in my room, and let me tell you, just terrified.
얼굴에 손이
I don't know if I've ever been that scared watching a movie before. So if you're looking for a good scare, I'd recommend that. So if I could boil this entire thing down, I will put this in 3 categories. If you're looking for something light and fun, then you gotta go with The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. If you're looking for something scary, legitimately scary, then I'd go with The Haunted Asylum. If you're looking for a classic, like an older classic, then House on Haunted Hill. But I also want to say The Invitation for that slow burn and then excellent payoff. And then Train to Busan, because Train to Busan is just freaking fantastic. Hope you are enjoying Halloween month. Happy spooky season to you. If you have any films you would like to recommend to me, leave them in the comment section below and I will check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.